UCO students visited Little Rock Central High. For many, this was a life-changing event. Prior to the visit, students were asked what they knew about the Little Rock Nine and Central High. Most students had limited, basic knowledge of the school's significance.
I don't know much about the Central High School other than the Arkansas Nine, which was the first 9 black children to help integrate blacks off into that school, and also how the reserves had to personally see them off inside the school day by day because they were getting constant threats by thousands of whites standing right outside the school about getting lynched and burning down their houses and stuff like that. But I'm looking forward to learning more about it.
So I don't know much about Central High, but I know that Little Rock Nine was an event that took place when there was like 9 children that got integrated into an all-white school. And it was a big thing for America because we were going through a time where there were many, in America we had like Brown versus Board, which was like the idea of separate but equal, where we had separate institutions, but they were supposed to be equal, but they really weren't. So as we were going through that and trying to do like Little Rock Nine was a way that we broke a barrier, as in having like the military just go in there and escort these children into the school.
I know about Little Rock Nine is that there were 9 black children attending this high school, but they couldn't, like when they went to school, they couldn't get into the school because like all the white people were like, no, you can't come here, and eventually the Army Reserve had to come into the school to personally let the kids go in. That's pretty much all I know so far.
Students went on a guided tour of Little Rock Central High. They looked in awe as a park ranger retold the turbulent events of the first days of integration in 1957. They walked down the same street that had been filled with thousands of onlookers 58 years prior, and stood on the steps where soldiers escorted the Little Rock Nine into the building. It was a profound experience for the students, who walked the halls of the school and perused the Central High Commemorative Garden.
But what I took away from my visit to Central High was the fact that they didn't really change anything around there. Like they renovated a little bit here and there, but everything else still remained the same. And to walk the same hallways that those Little Rock Nine did, it was a very humbling experience for me, and it's something that I'll take with me and cherish with me for a lifetime. And to like you can actually feel what went on in those hallways, and from the stories that was told to us by our tour guide, it was like, wow, they fought so hard for something that they really, really wanted. And what I'll take with me, what is not to take my education for granted, and to push 10 times harder to further my education, hitting the books way harder, taking my studies way more seriously, because back then they had to fight for education, and my generation nowadays, we take it for granted, and that's something that needs to be changed, and it started with me.
Also, I thought it was interesting how when the man was speaking to us and he talked about how the soldiers walked and you could hear their feet. I've seen it like in movies, but to really just be there, as I was there, I was just sitting there imagining, like, we were walking up the stairs, and I'm imagining how they would just walk up there and I could kind of hear their feet, or I could see, like, imagine like them taking the people into the school, or see the thousands of people that were out there protesting. And the biggest thing I think I'm gonna take from this experience is first that, well, I already know like education is important, but it gives you a perspective of how, as an African American male, that I get the chance to attend a university like the University of Oklahoma, which is considered a predominantly white institution, also known as the PWI. So it brings it humbles me as a person to be able to first attend the school and to see how the Little Rock Nine paved the way for me to get my education. So when I'm in school, I should not only be thinking about my education, but I should do whatever it is in my power to empower the people about education and to, in my opinion, pay homage to what they have done.
What I'm taking from Central High would be to not take anything for granted, because people like those 9 really fought for their education, what they wanted, and to get us to where we are today. And something that I didn't know was that wasn't the only school in Little Rock that was trying to get integrated. There was 2 other schools that were already integrated, but it just seemed like since that was the bigger school that I mean, it was more focused on that, I guess, if that makes sense. And I mean, it was just an amazing experience, and I'm just not going to take anything for granted anymore.
Anything else you want to add?
Thank you guys for bringing us on this trip. Learned a lot. It was a good memorable experience. I'll take this with me until I graduate.